Welcome back, everybody. We're here for Group B of the North American portion of the Overwatch Open playoffs. We've got Cloud9 versus Huckleberry. I'm Ask Joshi, casting with Jorasar for this best of 3. This is not a series that will send someone straight to Atlanta. This is just an opening match, so Cloud9 looking to basically get past his opponent quite easily. Huckleberry definitely fighting for something bigger than that.
Definitely. I mean, they're in a situation where their consistent results in the Overwatch Open qualifiers have at least allowed them to get this far. This is, of course, the opening match in the group. Cloud9 looking for a quick breeze through to the final match. Will they actually get there? Well, it depends. As for Huckleberry, this could actually be a Huckleberry over their persimmon.
That's true. Huckleberry over their persimmon is just, you know, a very common American saying about Huckleberries that means that is beyond their ability. But Reaver here on Tracer, going to be starting off here for Cloud9. Nothing in the competition looks too crazy. We did see a Widow selected before the gates open. He did switch off that Pi Hero character to McCree. But actually, we're getting several kills going the way of Huckleberry. It's Cloud9 that's losing their first 3 members.
And at the moment, we are pleasantly surprised, but also, to be honest, we're rooting for them a little bit as well. Everyone likes a good underdog story, and right now, Huckleberry, the main use, of course, of those early pickups, they're able to try and build their ultimates just a little bit faster so that they can stay alive in those team fights. Avast, though, going down short for targeting him, and that is going to result in a much later support ultimate potentially from him. But no, Grego goes down at the other side as well, so Huckleberry so far doing okay, but Cloud9 do score their first team wipe of the map.
I gotta say that was a questionable call for Huckleberry. After surprising Cloud9 and opening the map up with an easy point capture, why would you not just stay on the map and let them come to you? They pushed pushed it forward, and Kai just went past them and killed them from behind, while the rest of the team respawned and shut them down. So very brutal retake there by Cloud9. They were not happy about losing that initial fight, and Reaver is just going off. We've seen him do a ton of damage already. He has been picked off once or twice through the course of this game, but he's just sinking in tons of damage. Surefour on that Genji now actually just going nuts as well.
We have some very aggressive defense coming in from Cloud9 now as well, and I think I want to point out that Huckleberry kind of went half onto the point and half sort of trickling in on the side, and that wasn't very good at all because Cloud9 basically dealt with the likes of Pi Hero sort of on the side there, and then just went back on the point and more or less fought 6v2 for the last couple of seconds of that engagement. So that also fed Cloud9 an awful lot of ultimates. They have 5 out of 6, and this fight's going to be very difficult for Huckleberry as a result. I think Cloud9 have a lot of momentum going in behind them. Debit with double kill, and now Reaver is going to come in and help clean up as well. Winston looking to continue to get even further on the board, and Cloud9's defensive line just keeps getting higher and higher.
That was a very interesting route that Huckleberry just took. They went the long way around and dropped down from the highest level. Debet was actually waiting, unfortunately for Huckleberry, Debet was waiting for a move like that and was able to just immediately jump on the first ones out the door. Pyro popping that Deadeye, might find a couple of targets. Yeah, he gets Grego, but look at that. Graviton Surge and the Pulse Bomb was in there, but actually didn't get any kills off of it. Very strange kind of old combo, but in the end, Cloud9 does have more players alive. They will be able to retain that point, 70% to 32 now.
Cloud9 using the verticality extremely well. They Graviton Surge into Debit, moving straight up into Surefour using his Genji Blade as well. So all sorts of stuff going on there, preventing Huckleberry from utilizing that high ground quite as much as they would. It's now 82% versus 32. Huckleberry had a fantastic initial stage, but they need to be able to come back now to try and reclaim the point. Transcendence coming in to see if they can get a little bit of momentum. There's the sticky. Doesn't quite get a kill, but definitely does a lot of damage onto Winston. Can we actually keep the momentum going? And is we gonna see? Yeah, we'll roll with it. Sometimes I English. Do we see the point flip here in Huckleberry's favor?
No, actually, I don't think that's going to happen, as Cloud9 does have the majority of the players still alive. I think Huckleberry did just lose their DPS. Wyatt R on Genji right after you said that, unfortunately. But Reaver just putting the finishing note there on the last 2 kills. He had a terrific round. And Surefour, of course, had lots of room to play around as a result of that. If your Tracer's doing work, your Genji, it's just going to amplify the amount that he can do.
I just realized when you said Wyatt R on Genji, for a second I thought you were taking the Mickey. I thought you were taking the Mickey out of the grammar, and then I realized, no, that's actually Wyatt R.
That's Wyatt R.
It's totally Wyatt R.
Wyatt R, Wyatt Earp, Huckleberry. I'm starting to see why this team
Wyatt
is
is
named similar.
Yeah. Cool. That was Huckleberry came out of the gates very, very positively, I have to say.
True. Yeah.
They did tremendously well, and then Cloud9 sort of went, okay, playtime's over, guys. That's kind of what that felt like.
It's almost like the David and Goliath analogy going further here. David threw a stone at Goliath. Goliath lost his eye, came back and stomped on David.
Yeah, he went, oh, I'm going to squish you between my toes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an image.
That's another image. Yeah, we're doing great imagery today. As the point opens, we've got Reaver still on that Tracer. No surprise picks except Wyatt R on the Pharah, exactly as I predicted. So I'm feeling good about that.
Unfortunately, he goes down like an absolute sack of potatoes there, but it was a good shot, and I'd love to see him get a couple of kills, but right now, just not quite as effective. Inside this control point, of course, if you do actually get up there as Pharah, there's plenty of room to maneuver around and keep out of sight so you don't get picked off and then suddenly come in with stuff like Barrage as well. So it can be effective, but only if you have complete dominance over that airspace, and as a result, we're going to see him immediately switch back off onto the Genji.
Yeah, the switch to Genji definitely makes sense here. The team is just too good to actually try to use Pharah at all. I think Reaver and Surefour alone on Genji is probably going to have an easy time with that. Reaver does have Pulse Bomb Valleys all the way up in the face of the attacking team here. Huckleberry, Wyatt goes down, and a Pulse Bomb comes out and easily kills Note as well. Reaver's just having a great time here, even dropping low health. He has that rewind available and is able to save himself and get another kill, just lighting up that kill feed for Cloud9.
This is ever so slightly less positive coming out of Huckleberry on the second point here, I have to say. Cloud9's currently untroubled. They are sneaking up to about the 50% mark, and I wouldn't even really say there's one particular standout performance here. I feel like Huckleberry just aren't functioning as a unit as well as Cloud9 right now, and Surefour coming in very early on, basically using the ultimate at the spawn. He is absolutely going to town. Gets 2, gets 3, he's looking for 4, but he won't quite be able to get it with the ultimate. He might, though, be able to get it on Note, and he does. So that's basically a wipe straight out at spawn, and what do you do now if you're Huckleberry?
That was just the most disrespectful ult I think I've seen in this entire tournament. He's like, I don't need Sound Barrier or Graviton Surge or any setup at all. I'm just going to start diving you. And then the Sound Barrier came out and did allow him to get a lot of kills, but dang, that was just looked bad. Reaver tosses the Pulse Bomb and does not actually get any kills off of it, but the team follow-up will scoop a lot of kills on the damage dealers. That's very bad for Huckleberry, not going to be able to deal with Reaver. Really, if they can shut him down, they might stand a chance, but there's always Surefour and Kai dishing out tons of damage as well, and they're a lot stouter characters here.
I was looking at the top right, basically at the hit point bars, and nobody actually died to the Pulse Bomb, but more or less 5 out of 6 of them went boom in just a second, and I thought, oh goodness, a breath of fresh air can basically kill these guys at this point, but Huckleberry are coming back now. That is 4 kills, and Wyatt is going to get 4 on his own, actually, as 5 members of Cloud9 go down. Huckleberry will not go down without a fight, and Genji will be able to live to fight another day here, so Wyatt may be showing them a thing or two, but they're going to have to hold for a very, very long time to win this second point here.
I wish we had seen it just so I could compare and contrast the earlier Surefour Genji Dragon Blade to this one, because it got a lot of mileage. Definitely managed to get them the point for the first time here, which is definitely nice. You don't ever want to be 100-0. It just feels bad. This is a great movement for Huckleberry, showing some signs of life. The Fragile is going to pop his Winston ult, goes for Zenyatta. He's actually all alone, should get that kill, and he does. Hopping back onto the point now, Reaver in his sights. Tracer can be a bit slippery and hard to hit during Winston's ultimate. It's a little clunky swinging your fist like that. Tibet and Surefour actually scooping up a bunch of kills now while all that was going on. Note actually getting focused down now by Reaver. Just 30 HP taken away there by that melee drive-by. Kai has Graviton Surge, so this should be all locked up, 99-44.
You note there, managed actually to get the kill off on Surefour, but not before Surefour got 2 or 3 very critical hits of his own, and that actually ended up doing all of the damage. And now Graviton Surge coming out from Kai to more or less seal things. Overtime is going to be ticking down, and Cloud9 will take a 2-0 lead here on the control point.
Unfortunately for the state fruit of Idaho, Cloud9 is not showing any signs of weakness right now. Note there's that great Pulse Bomb earlier. Just follow-up kill after follow-up kill. Tracer doesn't need dash resets. Literally just blink wherever you want and take out whoever's in front of you. And here's Surefour's super ult that kept them locked at spawn. Here's Wyatt's Dragon Blade in a great mix of Graviton Surges and Transcendence. Actually finds his targets quite well. That last slash on Adam,
that was good.
Definitely a nice play, and Surefour great deflect there on Pi Hero with a follow-up dash reset. Man, Surefour makes Genji look like a lot of fun. It's really hard to play him like this.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say if I'm Huckleberry right now, other than there were a couple of flashes of brilliance where they were able to take a few team fights, and they didn't even have that much of an ultimate advantage when they took that second team fight as well. So plenty of reasons to keep playing and try and take this game to Cloud9, but they need to string them together. We've seen 1 or 2 isolated good team fights. We now need to see 3 or 4 in a row for them to be able to take this point and keep Cloud9 from sweeping them here.
Surefour already just destroying with the very accurate shurikens, actually, not even just dashes to finish characters off. The Fragile there took a lot of damage from long range. Remember, there's no damage fall off on Genji's projectiles, so if you're accurate with them, you can actually put out quite a bit of DPS. Now that Huckleberry has been wiped, Cloud9 will claim the point for the first time here in the middle stage. Pharaoh on this, Zenyatta needs to get out of here already, falling to only 15 HP from inside his spawn, essentially, that opening area. And as we move forward, no ults available for Huckleberry just yet. They're not really going to be able to battle back unless they find that early pick. Pyhero actually trying out Tracer himself after Reaver was doing such a great job. He wants to try and emulate that.
And now we're moving on to the point. Huckleberry trying their best to get a little bit of a flip. Currently 25-0. And the problem is we're actually seeing them quite spread out. There's sort of like a whole series of one-on-one, two-on-one battles going on right now. And Cloud9 are really, they're just showing a little bit superior tracking and able to get the damage in on Huckleberry a bit sooner. The problem is when you just start dying slightly earlier, you just allow your opponents to build up more ultimate over time. So Cloud9 are in a position where they can continue to snowball. They have 3 ultimates to 1 right now. Huckleberry are coming in, and Grego is going to ensure that Cloud9 will have the survivability here.
Yeah, that sound barrier providing so much extra HP. You can see the kills start to go their way now. Cloud9 finally finishing off all those targets with the combo of Debet, Surefour, and Reaver, of course, getting his shots in as well. The Winston player is going to be forced backwards here. The Fragile is eventually going to go down, and that's actually even more time available for Cloud9 to just sit comfortably on the point. This might be the point where they take it 100-0. Haven't seen much out of Huckleberry just yet.
I got a big, bold caster prediction, Josh. Are you ready? If
for
Huckleberry lose this point, they might not pick Ilio straight away.
Was Ilios the other one, or was it Nepal? I think it was
Oh,
Nepal.
sorry, Nepal, yeah. But I'm not sure they'd go to Nepal straight away either.
Ilios. Strong prediction.
Yeah, strong prediction, but I don't think Nepal is going to be on the cards either for them. We'll see. This point, of course, is not won yet.
Like an eagle throwing a goat off a cliff.
That was precisely
Winston
like that.
Launched him to his death. Great stuff there from Debet, and Pharaoh goes down shortly after. He's all the way up in the spawn. He's actually zapping them while they're immune to damage right now.
Absolute carnage going on here. Unfortunately, it's all in one direction as Cloud9 look to sink their teeth into Huckleberry, and that is a 3-0 convincing victory on Lijiang Tower.
Could have been worse. Could have been 300-0, and they actually got some points in there. There was, 30 to 40% on the first point, 20-30% on the second point.
Are we going to see this again?
Could have been more embarrassing. Cloud9, of course, did get the job done. Reaver, of course, did such a wonderful job. Debet, actually with just the splash damage, and then just launching people around this closed, confined space, getting tons of damage in.
I see no eagles or goats, unfortunately, in the play of the game. But that was quite a delight to watch towards the end. Yeah, we might see it in the highlights, so we'll definitely check that out in a second. Cloud9 with a convincing and commanding performance, dragging the goat off the cliff in slow motion as well. Absolutely excellent. Thank you guys very much for highlighting that. We appreciate it.
Terrific. Yeah.
Huckleberry, though, I mean, this isn't really just an uphill battle, is it? It's kind of more like a vertical wall.
It's actually probably the second or third toughest opponent in the entire tournament for the NA side of things. So, I mean, it's just an unlucky draw. We really can't gauge Huckleberry on a match like this because even Selfless or Splice might even get brutalized like that by Cloud9.
That's very true.
It's a really tough first opponent for sure, and that is the first map done and dusted. 1-0 now going to Cloud9, and we're not sure what the second map is going to be yet. It is actually going to be Nepal, so sorry, dude.
What? Okay, this is going to get interesting. I mean, after Lijiang Tower, like, frankly, the last thing I'd be looking at if I was Huckleberry would be like, yeah, you know what? We can absolutely turn that around and go and go for these King of the Hill maps again. Right. I mean, you know what? If they go King of the Hill now and they take the first 2 points against Cloud9, my mind is going to be so blown.
I'm thinking about it almost like, okay, they were able to get some percentage against Cloud9 here on the King of the Hill rounds.
They did well in small bursts.
And they opened with a win in the fight. They killed 3 members of Cloud9 right out the gate. And if you're them, you're thinking, if we can get some positive ults, the Genji Dragon Blade bought them a lot of time, flip the point. One ult can switch things so easily in a King of the Hill map compared to a payload where it's like, we're going to be punching into a brick wall over and over and over. Maybe I think King of the Hill control maps might actually be still the best bet for them as an underdog, massive underdog.
Maybe. I mean, to be fair, at the end of the day, in this best of 3, they are going to have to win on the King of the Hill map no matter what. So fair enough.
Both, yeah.
One thing I would say for them, though, is I don't recall them winning a team fight except for the very first one where they didn't have a big ult advantage.
The Genji Dragon Blade was really the only other one, and that was ults on both sides. So still credit to them. The Graviton Surges and Transcendences were all coming out during that one in the control room. But we are here on Nepal now, map number 2 between Cloud9 and Huckleberry. Again, this is just a best of 3. It is only the opening map of the group, so, or sorry, the opening match of the group. If Cloud9 do successfully take the win here, they will be waiting in the winner's bracket match between Sodipop and Sea Algae.
So an awful lot to play for still. Of course, Huckleberry wouldn't be out of it if they lost this, but the 3-0 victory that they have coming off the back, well, they're going to have to turn something around very quickly indeed. Cloud9 going for an extremely quick attack. Reaver, you can see out front looking for that Discord Orb and looking to try and chain that damage onto Huckleberry very early on. He's going to be rejoining his team now, not able to get a pick off. High Hero almost going down there, but both sides really trading. In fact, no Lucios for both teams to start off with.
High Hero going down incredibly fast. I've said this stat before on the cast. If Reaver can hit every bullet of a Tracer clip, that's 240 damage. That's not accounting for headshots. If you get even half of those headshots, it can go upwards of 400 damage. It's insane. So if Reaver being incredibly accurate can just light up a McCree who's not aware of him being there.
And at the moment, Reaver is actually lighting up the kill feed. He's already up to kills number 2 and 3, so doing a tremendous job. Wyatt scoring one back, though, for Huckleberry in that mirror matchup of the Genji. He does get the one better, but like we saw on that last map, apparently that just makes Surefour mad.
Well, Huckleberry, the fact they got 10%, it's not a total shutout. So again, that's my reasoning here is if we can get 10% increments, perhaps we can take a round off Cloud9, whereas the payload, it's just, it can feel hopeless. If they set a super fast time, you have no chance of winning, essentially. So I think this is still the right decision. We'll find out if they, force a game 3, of course.
I'd love
they will have to play it. But Wyatt here actually jumping in on Reaver. Finally, someone putting some pressure on him, but Reaver gets a kill on Zen in the process.
And the problem is when Wyatt is running around, if the rest of his team are slowly dying around him, there's only so long you can go before someone goes, hang on a second, let's Discord Orb this guy. And it doesn't matter how good your deflects are, you can't have that up all the time. And Wyatt just won't be able to carry the team on his shoulders unless they band together around him and find a way to keep everyone occupied. And here comes the big engagement. We have Surefour now coming in with the Dragon Blade. Transcendence being popped from Huckleberry, preventing that damage from being done to him, which is excellent so far. He goes down to under 100 hit points, but doesn't quite go down. And Grego actually scores the first kill. So Huckleberry with that, with the support elements, haven't been able to actually make it work here. And Cloud9 managed to hold without a single hero going down.
Definitely a great hold. Even though Surefour popped the Dragon Blade during the Transcendence, it was timed well enough. He could scoop up all those kills. Reaver, of course, again, able to run around freely. The sound barrier to open the engagement from Grego gave them plenty of room to do all of that. Huckleberry now have the ult advantage, so if they were going to flip it, this is their last opportunity. 82% now for Cloud9. That's going to tick up slowly during the encounter as well, so they have to get it done here.
Well, it's now or never. 90% plays 10 at the moment. I mean, it's 100 if you actually add them together, but that doesn't mean very much right now. Pi Hero grabbing a kill of his own, but again, a kill hero there is not going to be able to make the map, unfortunately. We're now into overtime as Huckleberry continue to try and keep themselves on the point, but realistically, they cannot afford the trickle, and this will be point number 1 to Cloud9.
Yeah, that opening fight, again, somehow Huckleberry managed to capture the point first. Here we see some highlights of Reaver just drilling through people. That was that very fast Reaper kill that we talked about a little bit earlier. But yeah, lots of room to just go do whatever he wants, focus whatever target he feels like, while the rest of the team doing a great job just staying alive, using their ults wisely, and allowing Surefour and Reaver both to have that freedom of movement. And that is something that, when you have a really good DPS player on your team, that's really all you're focused on, is letting them do their thing.
And now we move on to the second point. We are in, we're in the Sanctum. I wonder if we're going to be seeing those environmental kills that we've been itching for.
Yeah.
We didn't actually see that much on Lijiang, but this might change here. No Roadhogs, unfortunately, at play, but we do have Wyatt playing a Junkrat.
Yeah, Junkrat, again, one of those characters. Actually, Surefour has played Junkrat on this map against stronger teams as a way to try and launch people into the pit, or at least get them broken out of their typical defensive setups. But it is going to be Huckleberry actually needing to fall back very quickly as Lucio gets very, very low. Reaver actually missing a lot of shots here on McCree after switching to this Golden Gun character, doing less damage than he did on Tracer overall. Wyatt actually finds the kill on Surefour with Junkrat. It only takes 2 bombs to kill a Tracer, so if you're spamming them, you definitely can shut it down. But Surefour has actually switched to Ana now.
Oh, that's going to be very interesting indeed. I don't know if this is tactical just for this particular point. We'll find out. Cloud9 maybe. I mean, I can't really see this as being a showboating move just yet, because at the end of the day, Ana can actually produce some devastating combinations. but it does rely on her being left alone. As soon as someone singles out Ana, it's so difficult for her to run away.
Ana can actually stay in this corner the whole game, though. Never even really needs to stand on the point. Can just dish out damage and heal all the targets, almost everybody freely from here. So I actually like this move, seeing how it's playing out. Yeah, he doesn't have to leave this corner at all. There's no reason to rush forward. Does full damage from any distance as long as he's accurate. Then Zenyatta there popping a Transcendence. Graviton Surge goes down as well. Who is actually going to come out on top here? We got a couple of kills going either way, but losing PyHero, losing that damage is going to be devastating. Reaver now using the Deadeye and finds a Vaz who ran up to him for some reason, could not keep line of sight. The tire comes out, but Reaver does manage to shut that down as well. Everything looking good for Cloud9, even though HUCKLEBERRY had the first 43%.
Ooh, and Debit going down now to Wyatt. Triggered and then jumping in. That's not going to do him very good against a very high DPS Junkrat there. PyHero now switching onto Tracer to try and hold on here. 12% place 43. Again, Huckle. Oop, we're going to pretend that didn't happen.
He didn't quite make that jump.
No. Unfortunately, long jump. He falls just short of the final here, but HUCKLEBERRY, they're comfortably ahead. They're up to nearly 50%, and Reaver's going, oh yeah, there's a gap, I remember.
Oh, mind the gap, Reaver.
Yep.
Yes, that's very dangerous territory there. The tire is available here now for Wyatt again, but he does fall before he gets a chance to use it. 34% now for Cloud9, quickly catching up. I wonder how PyHero's actually doing on the Tracer. We saw Reaver get a lot of mileage out of it in the first round here on Lijiang, but this is a chance for PyHero to try and fight back, as Cloud9 has a little bit of a different composition. Kai still on that Zarya doing a great job as usual, just with the on-point shields and Graviton Surges. Haven't seen him really die yet. And here we go. Winston's going to try to engage now for HUCKLEBERRY. He falls quite low, quite fast, and has no ult available to get him back up to full, so Kai and company will gladly take that. PyHero actually got 2 kills, though, during that. Sherfor and Reaver both down right now. Graviton Surge with Kai alone. No, sorry, Debet is in there. We also had Lucio dishing in some damage, so the fact that there were 2 people there made it not a waste at all. They totally cleared them. 70% now to 43.
One of the things actually about Sherfor picking Ana I wanted to mention is that PyHero, now that he switched on to Tracer, his job needs to be to go around and get the flank and pick off Ana, because Sherfor's choice of Ana is entirely justified, like you said, if he can stay in the corner and just dish out damage and heal all game long. You need that Tracer to actually go in and prevent him from doing that and nullify that threat from Ana. So PyHero has done really well there, but he needs to continue to do that, and I want to see him on Ana duty.
Sound barrier coming out from HUCKLEBERRY. Nano boosted Deadeye coming out, though. That actually accelerates the Deadeye skulls by so much. You can actually see it in action there. Multiple kills there. The skulls went so fast. Even Winston actually nearly died just from the Deadeye, and he's got a ton of health and armor. So you can see Cloud9 swiftly reversing that 43% into 100% for them. There's that poor unfortunate Lucio. Reaver makes up for it later, of course, by jumping to his death, but also great tire kill there.
Absolutely fantastic, and really at the end, that Ana boosted Deadeye, not something you see very often, to be honest, in these stream games, so really useful to see the impact that Ana has. Credit to PyHero, though, for being able to get round back and identifying the threat and nullifying it, but you need to be able to do that consistently. And look at all that. Wow, those skulls basically could have had Cheshire Cat grins on them. They were fantastic.
4 kills with that. After they had used their sound barrier, they waited to the perfect time to nano boost, and Deadeye caught essentially the entire team. Winston was alone with something like 20% of his health by the end of it, and of course that was an easy cleanup. So really cool. You actually don't see the nano boost Deadeye in action that much. It's usually a Reinhardt or a Reaper that catches it.
You're very right. It gets to a point where you go, oh, that's interesting. That's how you get through the sound barrier as well. You just allow the charge basically to build up more and more damage, and just try and amplify that over time. Really nicely done. And
Reaver just dissecting these HUCKLEBERRYs right now, putting them in the blender.
Are HUCKLEBERRYs definitely all edible?
HUCKLEBERRYs are edible.
Are they like a health drink, like an acai berry? Are they a gym food,
They're
maybe?
more of a naturally occurring berry that don't taste as good as other berries.
Are there synthetic occurring berries? Like
what?
Like lab, not unnatural occurring berries?
No, they're real berries. Do you have a lot of fake berries here in the UK?
I'm just wondering if you can get them synthetic. I don't know, but right now, unfortunately, well, these deaths look anything but natural as HUCKLEBERRY gets shafted off the point once again. That's a triple kill, though, to be fair, in their favor. But PyHero not going to be their hero as he falls before able to get a third. But once again, they're able to get on the board. They just need to keep a hold of it now.
Yeah, PyHero off the McCree actually is helping them. I think Tracer, you can see he's on fire right now, and it's just the sustained damage. You don't have to hit all your shots. You're still dealing damage. as Tracer as long as you're looking in the right direction. So definitely working out for them so far. Wyatt, we did see a great Dragon Blade from him earlier, so he is hopefully getting sustained damage in as well. Sound Barrier from Cloud9 is going to allow Surefour to go nuts with this Dragon Blade. Zarya Bubble does keep him alive for one extra slash, but it's not going to be enough. Actually did stunt his ability to kill the entire team, though.
Right now, unfortunately, it looks like a little bit of a trickle kill. Here comes Pi Hero, but unfortunately, he's being surrounded by all sides, and I really don't think he's going to... Wow, I'm actually quite impressed that he's been able to run this far. Actually,
okay, you don't have any dashes left.
Pi Hero.
Sure Hero...
Can we credit Pi Hero with that?
We can. Surefour may have thought he was getting a kill there, and may have gotten the dash reset to come back.
He's
or
like,
wall
got
climb
him.
Or something, but he did not have a jump or a dash, and just plummeted like a goat being hurled off a cliff by an eagle.
Joshy. Oh my goodness. It's all happening here today, and Wyatt won't be making the same mistake. He is coming back in from the side, and here comes the Graviton Surge on the side of HUCKLEBERRY. They need to make this count, and there is a Pi Hero coming on in, and it doesn't look like he's quite able to kill too many, but, you know, they get 3 kills to start off with, and Cloud9 only have Debit and Reaver left. Reaver, though, does have the Pulse Bomb. They are still contesting the point, but I think HUCKLEBERRY should be able to keep hold of this for a while now.
I'm realizing, again, so we have Wyatt, as in Wyatt Earp. That lends itself toward the HUCKLEBERRY name. But also Pi Hero could be a HUCKLEBERRY Pie. There's multi-facets here with the naming of this team. I really like it. Actually, it's growing on me. They can be my HUCKLEBERRY.
I'm not sure how... Did Pharaohs eat HUCKLEBERRY?
Graviton Surge?
It's kind of under the bridge. I'm not sure how effective that was going to be, but it certainly at least holds the bridge in place in the meantime.
Yeah, the bridge is going to be well sturdy.
Strong structural integrity there.
That's so funny. I've never seen that actually hit the bottom of a structure like that before, but Reaver still just running and gunning on the Tracer. Surefour actually getting a lot of damage, and you can see him in the kill feed doing what he does best, but now Cloud9 have reclaimed the point, 78% against 57. This is HUCKLEBERRY's best showing yet. There was a suicide by Surefour to help that out, but they're still doing well. You got to give it to him. Pi Hero's hit some great pulse bombs. He has another opportunity here with only 5%. Could actually manage to flip it again, but no ults on either side except for Reaver's pulse bomb. Pulse bomb coming out, helps find the kill. Surefour actually scooping a bunch of kills now with the dash resets, as you'd expect. 95% now. If they can just finish the job, this should go Cloud9's way.
Wyatt has done all right on Genji, but Surefour seems to have become very much another level as far as this last point is concerned, and it looks like Cloud9 are going to be able to take this 2-0.
Yep, and since this was just a best-of-3 series, they're going to move into the winners bracket match. They will face the winners of Sodipop and Sea Algae, which will be our next match. But check this out. Yeah, the nano-boosted Deadeye was the play of the match. It definitely was the coolest ult combination that we've seen all day, I think. You know, very typically we'll get Graviton Surge plus X. But that Nano Boost Deadeye was something I definitely did not expect to see on Nepal.
We see a lot of Nano Boost coming out on Reinhardt in particular, so it's really nice to see it being used elsewhere. And that Deadeye able to pierce through sound barrier as well, because don't forget you're basically gaining the damage per second that they're in your sights. And if you're able to accelerate that suddenly, the amount of damage you can actually dish out with that is unbelievable. But let's go ahead and check in with the other guys that have now rejoined us on the desk. Guys, a pretty quick 2-0, but some quite fun plays going on there as well.
Well, HUCKLEBERRY, they had a surprise cap at the beginning, but then maybe an overextension. And after that, perhaps Lamb to the Slaughter. ZP, do you have much to talk about in the first map?
I mean, in general, looking at the first map and the second map, in the end, it comes down to, it was very fundamental mechanical gameplay coming out from the side of C9. You have the Bash brothers and Reaver and Surefour, where Reaver, I thought, actually had more of a breakout game than he's had recently. Arguably, Reaver's had some struggles as of late, but I feel like he was able to come in and actually have a better game than he's had generally. And then sort of the unsung hero of C9 and keeping them together on King of the Hill maps is Kai. He plays one of the best Zaryas in the game, and generally just good, solid moments from him throughout. And it just, when you're doing well, it's difficult for a team like HUCKLEBERRY to come in and sort of unseat them. And anytime you go against a C9 in that sort of mechanical battle, it's rough.
Joshi, HUCKLEBERRY not out of the whole thing yet.
No.
Can they recover from that? Because that was, I mean, the first map was quite a beatdown. The second map, they had some time on the control point, so there's something to take away from that. And I suppose it's a learning experience for them.
Yeah, it's rough to actually base anything off of that series because Cloud9 is so experienced and have played together for so long. They have infinite trust built in each other by now. Kai, like you mentioned, they know Kai is going to provide those spot shields. They don't have to ask for them. They know that he's on the ball, and that's something that allows them to do the crazy things that they do with their DPS heroes. I think that Huckleberry certainly can hang with some of these other teams still in the tournament. Group B does have C-Algae, sorry, got me saying it now, C-Algae
Nice.
and Sodipop both are decent. I would say place them firmly in the 5 to 8, maybe 5 to 12 range here for North America. Huckleberry, I'm not sure where they stand yet. That was not the worst performance ever, though. We saw some good ult combinations. We saw some decent individual performances out of Pi Hero and Wyatt. So as long as your DPS players are able to get the job done, anything's possible.
Jurasar, Reaver kind of went nuclear in this match.
He kind of did as well, but a lot of that came down to how well his teammates were actually able to gather around him and support. I'm sure ZP, you can collaborate here. When you have your teammates keeping the opponents occupied so well, it's easy for your DPS players to go in and shine through. And sure, Huckleberry had their moments with Tracer and with Genji moving in, but it felt like Cloud9 very consistently had that, and that sort of allowed Reaper to run havoc a little bit.
No, it absolutely did. I mean, if there was a silver lining here at all for Huckleberry, is that there are points where they had their ultimates up. C9 was a bit of a disadvantage, and they were able to come back and take control of the point. But overall, C9 clearly playing with a lot more power in their deck across multiple positions all throughout the game. And it was rough to deal with. I mean, if there's any real enemy of C9 in this matchup, it was the shift key and mobility things. There's one point where Reaver rolls off into a pit. Surefour dashes off the side.
Yeah,
that was a little bit rough. But in all seriousness, it was a very good performance by C9, and there's not too much more to it. I mean, they just came and they outplayed on multiple levels.
Yeah, they did what they were expected to.
So we've got C-Algae versus Sodipop coming in the next match. Do you think there's a team that the loser of this match would rather play out of those two?
Between CLG and Sodipop, I'm not sure. I think the interesting thing about CLG and Sodipop is that certainly there have been teams that have similar records in the sense that they have been trying to climb up and get into the top tier recently. But overall, I don't know. I don't think there's either of the two teams who really care to play more than one another. I do think CLG might have more upside than Sodipop from what we've seen, but Sodipop has been on the rise too. I'm actually very curious to see what are the results of the next matchup going in. But right now, we do have the incredible play of the game heading our way.
That's my job. What's wrong with you people? Can we remove these analysts, please? Don't roll that
this
yet.
Guy on the end?
He's
Do not
Ben,
roll that
right?
yet. It's not time to roll
Was
that.
he here during the qualifiers? I don't recognize
What is
him.
wrong with these? Is there something wrong with the seat? So now it's time for our incredible play of the game.
Excellent.
Is it going to be McCree or is it going to be a crater jumping off the map?
I think it... I hope it's a suicide. It's just Reaver dropping casually into the pit while it's still 6v6.
He's like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
Waltzing on backwards.
That was my play of the game. It is going to be the nano boost that allowed the Deadeye to kill everyone. Here it comes.
Waiting
So
for it.
is the incredible play of the game Reavers or is
Nope,
it
there we go.
Surefours?
It's got to be a combination of the two, really. You can't really give it to one. Look how quickly he was able to set up and get the quad as well.
Oh,
You go, it's high. Time to prepare. No, there was absolutely none of that, and they got completely floored. That was a really nice looking combo.
They didn't even get to hear what time it was.
No. What time is it?
They died without...
We
knowing
asked a simple
when
question.
in time
They will never know, unfortunately. Well, that was a pretty solid, incredible play of the game. There are more to come as well. Again, it's Sodipop coming up versus C-Algae. I think we are... I'm never going to say what they want. I just can't do it. I'm from the wrong... I'm from the wrong country. So Sodipop versus C-Algae is going to be our next and final match of the evening. That's coming up after the break. We will see you back here shortly.